Rail Talk is sponsored by Epic Insurance Brokers, one of the nation's top retail insurance brokers, providing expertise across key lines of insurance like property and casualty, employee benefits, and unique specialty insurance. Another guy who is very unique and special is Chris Moore, who leads Epic's equine specialty practice. You see him all over the places, very active on racing Twitter. One of the few non-toxic people on racing Twitter, I must say. So, shout out to Chris for somehow threading that needle, because he's obviously he's a real guy too. He's not full of it. He's a real dude, but obviously very, very well informed on the industry, and obviously well informed on the insurance side of the industry because he owns and breeds horses himself. You see him at the sales all the time, at the races. He can tell you the difference between prospective foal insurance versus insuring the mare, and kind of where you should fall on whether you need both or one or the other. Chris is insuring his prospective foal for 100% of the purchase price. That was the best thing for his investment thesis. He's going to be able to figure out what's best for your program. And similar to the Green Group, it can be a little bit of a labyrinth, a little bit of a mess, trying to figure out the insurance needs of your individual business. And there's nobody in the industry we would trust before Chris to do that. He does it for John. He does it for all sorts of West Point partners. He really is that guy when it comes to insuring your assets. And you can give Chris a call or shoot him a text to start that conversation at 317-650-4519. And that leads us to this week's
Epic Performance of the Week.
And I thought this would be a fitting tribute to Chris this week. I know he usually likes us to keep it horse-centric, but I think he'll make an exception for us to celebrate Indiana University winning a football national championship. Like, what? Like, what universe am I living in that Indiana is now a football school? And in all seriousness, like, this, to me, is maybe the best coaching job in the history of sports. I don't say that lightly. Curt Cignetti came and took over a program that literally had the most losses of any D1 program in college football history. And 2 years later, the team is 16-0 and beat all manner of blue bloods on the way to a very, very well-deserved national championship. So shout out to everybody in Bloomington. Been a basketball school for as long as anybody can remember. Obviously, Hoosiers, it's a huge thing in the state. But now, John, Indiana is the center of the college football world. How about that?
It was a shocker, and I love their motto of make it possible. Or I'm not saying it necessarily exactly the way, so I probably should delete it from this commercial. But my point is, make it possible, which also works with the insurance that Chris brings to the table. Of, hey, Chris, I'm not really sure how to do this. Make it possible, and he's like, I got you.
Yeah, no, he's the man. And like I said, with the sales coming around, with breeding season starting up, that's a lot. There's a lot to process. And, you need a guy who knows the business inside and out to be in charge of all that. So call Chris, text him, 317-650-4519. And shout out to the Indiana football team and Curt Cignetti and all the Hoosier Nation out there for your first national championship. This week's Epic Performance of the Week.